There is more action, stunts, car chases in this film. This stuff all costs money, so once you have more money, you can do more of that. Brad isn't just setting up stunts, he's setting up shots and setting up shots that go into sequences. So on Underworld 4, he shot big chunks of the movie, not just this explosion or that person jumping out the window or somebody running down the street.
Michael!
Great, perfect.
Måns and Bjorn definitely have their vision for the movie, which is a great vision.
It's either elegant.
It's fine with the sound effects.
Oh, working with Brad, it's no like ours and his. He comes up with something. Or he comes to us and say, I think this scene should be this and this. And he shows us this fantastic little previous he's done with these people. Or it could be that we designed some shots completely with storyboards and we tell him, what do you think? And says, this works, this works, this works, and maybe you should do this. So it's a total collaboration.
As far as prep time goes, obviously you never have enough. But we were given 10 weeks on this, which is what we had on the first Underworld. And there were a couple things that we needed to do some R&D on, the research and design of it all. Can we just keep going?
Can we keep the fire going?
Yeah. What I bring to the table is definitely my experience through the previous Underworlds and knowing how that action was set and knowing how Celine performs her action or what kind of person she is and how she deals with action on her level.
A, because he knows Kate, and there's a level of trust there. B, he knows Len, and there's a level of trust there. And C, he knows Underworld as well as any of us do. And D, he's a naturally talented person at putting together action sequences. He ended up being the absolute perfect choice to do that on Underworld 4.
I wasn't physically confident before the first one, so it was a real kind of personal test and revolution for me going through all that training the first time where I really had to be taught how to run and how to throw a punch, and I'd never held a gun in my life, and it was terrifying, especially because we didn't have very much money and you know, you'd get one shot at blowing up a subway.
Action, Kate.
She's still game to try stuff, and to be able to have her go to Brad and know, okay, we've done this before, Len trusts you, I trust you, that saves a lot of time.
Once you find somebody that you know speaks your language, knows what you want from a design shot, whatever it is, what the mood that you're trying to create within the action, it's so valuable to have that. So the thing that comes to my mind first is a trust for what he'll bring and provide to the action.
Kate.
The thing about Kate, actually her retention is ridiculously good. It's been 10 years since she's really trained. She brings the attitude to it. She gets right in there and she's great. She's awesome.
1, go.
He had her confidence in terms of asking her to perform athletic moves that she wouldn't always, necessarily feel comfortable doing. So a lot of the stunts Kate performed on her own because Brad made her feel comfortable.
The thing that I have with Kate is that I'm able to talk to her in the way that she interprets it in her head to make her perform the way she needs to.
Brad will perform it, and then she picks it up like it's a dance routine. And some of these things just come natural to her, which is funny because it's personality. She doesn't blink when she shoots, which is very difficult to do, especially if you're shooting slow motion. It screws you up. You can't use the shot. You have this great, it's just right in the lens, and then you just got a person going like this the whole time, and you can't use it. She's very good at that, very good with guns. And so these things strangely come natural. Personally, where I can see where she's evolved as specifically like the action star, I guess, is the comfort and confidence to really kind of like, bare her fangs in a sense, like really dive into it. The grunts, the aggression.
I think I still retain a little bit of that feeling of like, oh my God, I'm completely out of my depth, I don't know what I'm doing. And yet, because I know this character very well and I'm very comfortable, and I have been trained really well by, Brad and his team. Brad has choreographed a lot of the action to make the most of it being 3D. I do the thing and then afterwards go, wow, that's so cool, maybe the whole leg came.
The way that the stunts are set up, and again, the Brad Martin of it all. The stunts speak to like the 3D world. I mean, there's a lot of depth and there's a lot of coming into foreground and leaving again. And the guns and the bullets flying.
This is when they're gonna cut in.
Yeah.
All the
spikes going out, yeah. And
funny.
Throwing stars at, yeah.
There are moments when you see Celine fighting off all these security guards and shooting them, doing all sorts of moves. That's all Brad. So he did a great job.
Biggest problem that I have with 3D, and this is the one thing that we couldn't disprove, is when you pan from one object to another or follow something going by at a relatively quick speed, which is somewhere between a whip pan, which is super fast, and then just like following somebody walking, that medium speed pan right there creates this ghosting image in 3D, and it looks quite weird on the eye, and it's very hard to watch. And very often we have to find ourselves finding another way around the shot to prevent that ghosting from happening. Since we're shooting with 2 cameras, when we shoot action that has to do with wire work, say for instance, and a guy's jumping up and we're pulling him by a wire, now they have 2 different images that they have to erase the wires from, so it's double the work.
You'll see Celine jumping over fences, you'll see her making great leaps, you'll see her doing this cool move where she suddenly moves and then she's somewhere else. A lot of that's done with wire work. You'll see her do that in this film way more than you did before. The amount of wire work that we've done on Underworld 4 is the most I've ever done on any film.
3, 2, 1.
Got it.
Got it! The beginning of the pier is that Celine comes in and she jumps over the fence and lands on the inside of the fence, and we were going to do that all with Kate. It was actually a 3D thing of locking off the camera and doing 2 different takes of something. We weren't able to do that with Kate on both shots, so we did what we call a Texas switch, which is we have her stunt double in the back, and she jumps up out of frame, and then Kate lands in the foreground. That was a fun little beat of action that we did, and it worked out really well. It was all fun. It's always fun when you get guys shooting guns and bullet hits and people diving and ducking and explosions.
We had tremendous fortune in him playing an active directorial part in terms of directing the second unit action sequences on the film.
It's a bit like riding a bike, so I sort of assume I won't be able to do it and then find like, oh, actually, I just ran off a wall, you know. And that's been really fun. And again, because we've all known each other a long time, that works really smoothly, and so I sort of look forward to it now.